Halloween is right around the corner, and things are officially getting spooky. Welcome back to the Game Clock. Let's begin with our rundown of local news. In varsity soccer, the boys had their final home game of the season against Monroe Woodbury. They defeated the Crusaders 1-0 on senior night. For the girls, they crushed FDR 4-0 on Monday. However, they were defeated 1-0 by the Crusaders yesterday in Monroe. Volleyball suffered a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Marlboro. They look to bounce back today against Monroe. Varsity football was heartbroken last week, losing to Middletown on senior night. They needed a bounce back, and boy did they deliver. The Goldbacks crushed Lords 42-0 on Friday night in Poughkeepsie. Offensively, the Goldbacks were led by the duo of Tyjer Walker and Bruce Montgomery. They combined for a total of 22 carries, 162 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In the passing game, quarterback Mason Hoover went 10 for 14 with 120 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, the Goldbacks were led by defensive linemen Fabian Roden and Braden Gonseth and outside linebacker Matt Patterson for a combined total of 15 tackles. They will play Kingston this Saturday at Roundout Valley High School at 2 p.m. Enough talking about that, let's move on to pro sports. The NHL is back and in full swing. It all started off at the world's most famous arena, where the New York Rangers defeated the Arizona Coyotes 2-1 in Monday night's home opener. They will play the Nashville Predators tomorrow night at the Garden. The Islanders also defeated the Coyotes last night with a 1-0 win. 1-0 win. They will play the Devils this Friday night. New Jersey has started off slow. The Devils suffered back-to-back losses, the most recent one to the Panthers 4-3 at home. They look to bounce back against the Isles on Friday night. Now enough about that, let's get on to the recap. This NFL season has one of, if not the strangest starts to a season of all time. And this week might have been the wackiest of them all. The New York Jets have one of the biggest up and down years in recent history. At the start of the season, this game was looked at as a potential classic. Jalen Hurts versus Aaron Rodgers. The reigning NFC champion Eagles versus a potential juggernaut New York Jets team. That was not the case at the start of the season. Unfortunately, with the 5-0 Eagles in town, the banged-up Jets look to be in for a blowout. But something clicked defensively for the Jets. Down 14-12 with 2 minutes left, everything flipped. Jalen Hurts throws a costly interception to cornerback Tony Adams, setting the Jets up in perfect field position. Running back Breece Hall does the damage, giving the Jets a 20-14 lead. They would stop the Birds, handing the Eagles their first loss of the season. The Jets would win this one in front of the raucous MetLife faithful, 20-14. And that's just the beginning. Things were even crazier in the early window. The 5-0 San Francisco 49ers, after a dominant 42-10 win over the Cowboys, were riding high. However, the Cleveland Browns had other ideas. Cleveland decided to attempt and shock the world. The football gods shined light on the Browns for once. Cleveland had the lead, but with a minute left, Brock Purdy had other plans. The 49ers drove down into field goal range, but a 41-yarder from kicker Jake Moody was hit by a few gusts of wind. The Browns did what they said they would do, shocked the world, and gave the 49ers their first loss, 19-17. Things got even crazier on Sunday Night Football. For the sake of all things good in this world, why are the Giants still on primetime? Why? The Giants were set to play their 4th primetime game in 6 weeks. Up until this point, they had been humiliated on primetime on multiple occasions. This time, they went up to Western New York in a hostile environment to play against the Buffalo Bills. Once again for the Bills, a game came down to the wire. The Giants shockingly held the Bills to 0 points through 3 quarters. But after not getting any points on the goal line, everything changed. The Bills woke up and got 14 in the 4th. It all came down to one final play with 3 seconds left. After a costly pass interference penalty by the Bills, the Giants had the ball on the half-yard line. But instead of running the ball, quarterback Tyrod Taylor dropped back, tossed up a prayer, broken up, game over. The Bills held on for a 14-9 win. The Giants had 2 drives down to the 1-yard line. They didn't score a single point. On Monday Night Football, we were presented with a clash of 2 solid teams looking for bounce backs. The Dallas Cowboys traveled to SoCal to take on the Chargers. This was a back-and-forth contest, and it all came down to the final drive with the Cowboys up 20-17. Justin Herbert throws the game-winning interception that sealed the game for Dallas. Cowboys win 20-17. Now on to your other results. Broncos country suffered another defeat, this time to the juggernaut Chiefs in Kansas City, 19-8. The Ravens and Titans traveled overseas to London, and the fans were presented with a 24-16 win for the Ravens flock. Down in South Beach, the red-hot Dolphin offense soared to a 42-21 win over the Panthers. In Houston, the Texans defeated the Saints 20-13. In the A, the Falcons suffered their second big loss, Atlanta's second big loss after the Braves were eliminated, losing 24-16 to the Commanders. Now staying down south, the Jaguars once again rolled over the Colts with a 37-20 win. In the Midwest, the Seahawks, fresh off a bye, traveled to Cincinnati, but were met by a Bengals team that dominated their offense and defeated them 17-13. In Chi-Town, the Bears continued their losing ways, falling to the Vikings 19-13. The Raiders beat up on the Patriots 21-17, and for one last time will go back to Florida as the Lions continued to roll through teams with a 20-16 win over the Bucs. And finally, the Rams continued to roll against their sons of the league with a 26-9 win over the Cardinals. That's all the time that we have for today. I'm JJ Seglio, and we'll see you next week.